Back to Code with Kaleem. Today I come up with the next video of our Angular series. In that I come up with the video number 3. So today we are going to cover the files and folder structure in Angular. So what we are going to cover in this video, first point will be that we will understand the file and folder structure of Angular, and in second step we understand the code flow, and the third will be interview questions that I will also cover. So for this one, you can see it here that I have set up and segregated the files for you. These files, for instance, the package.json, so node module, source, folder, and structure. Up to this, these files are very important to understand for the even for the beginners as well, and for the advanced user, if you have an experience of 3 to 4 years of Angular experience, then you must know about these files as well. So for this one, let's start it here, that what is the package.json file. So package.json file, let's go check this file. Package.json file is most important file in this. All the Angular version script files define it here. You can see here that we define every sort of whatever the script we want to run. We can define the scripts here, and here you can find out that what Angular version we are using. So right now we are using Angular 17.3.0 for this. So it contains all the package information, and you can whenever you have to add any new package, you have to add it here, right? So if you find any component on from the web that you want to integrate in your application, then you have to add that one. For instance, if you're using the quill mention, like Angular mention, something like some other package, you can mention it here, right? So this is the basically the package.json file. And the other one, that the second one is the node modules. And what is node module? Node module is very important, but it basically not exists automatically whenever you create a project. So whenever you will run the npm I command in a terminal, it will generate a node underscore module folder. So but remember that make sure you will never do any change inside the node underscore module, because if you do any change, if you started claim yourself that my project is running fine, then whenever you try to give the build for production or to your client, then it will be collapsed there. So make sure you don't do any change here in this folder, right? And but this is very important stuff, very important folder. So in source folder, we have app, we have app folder. You can see it here. We have app folder that contains all the components. And what is the component, that we will discuss in upcoming videos. Basically, in short, I can just tell you, it contains the piece of code that we can reuse in the entire project. We can reuse in the entire project. In this, we have basically the CSS file, HTML, and .ts file, and we will discuss more on this in upcoming videos. And the next thing is assets. Assets, basically the same thing, that if you come from some other language, or even you are a beginner, that for the beginner point of view, that asset basically contains, if you want to set up any sort of images that you want to use, then you can use the assets, right? And you can just put the images here and make a link with it with inside your application, that then you can use it, right? And this is the next one, is the index.html. Index.html is basically the first file that will be run in your on this project, that will be the very first file. But I will tell you that might be you can even change this the first file as well, that I will told you shortly, that from where that you can change it. So the next one, and the main.ts file, basically the main.ts file is in previous version that whatever the bootstrap that would define it here, but it automatically it's handle everything here. So basically you don't need to worry about this one. So it generate basically it converts whenever the project is run, it convert everything to the JavaScript. So it's run is contain all the executed code here. Whenever you start on your project, then you will find all the details there. So for the next stuff, let's move to the next one. Is style.css. Style.css is the main global file that you can use it here if you want to do any HTML related changes that or the CSS related changes, you can do it here. But make sure if you are using any component, we will discuss about this component, that if you want to do any specific change in your component, then you have to apply that CSS change here in app.component or .cs or whatever the component that you're using. We'll discuss it in detail in later videos. And now let's move to the next one, for the advanced user. That is the packaged.log.json file. If you have an experience above 3 to 4 years, then I must say that you should know about this one. Packaged.log.json basically contains the detailed information of the package.json. For instance, if you're using jQuery package, then it will contain the jQuery. It will contain the details of the, if jQuery is dependent on sub packages, then it will display, or it will show the detailed packages information as well, if it is dependent on any other package. So it is a detailed file, you can say that. So the next one is the angular.json. This is very most important file as well. Angular.json here, it contains all the information. For instance, whatever the files should be the what will be the first file that you want to run in your project. For instance, as I just told you that the index.html will be your first file, you can change it here as well, that whatever the file that you want to call it on a first go. So, and it also contains the browser that which one it will use the source main.ts, and same configuration, ts configuration is also defined it here. We'll discuss about it, that what is ts configuration app.json, and it also contains the styles as well, and the configuration, production configuration, or other things. But you don't need to worry about these things, because the project is not by default, it will just run it and you can just start play with your project. But for advanced developer, that you must know about these things. The next one is the ts configuration, tsconfig files. So let's move to the tsconfig file, guys. Tsconfig file basically contains the target. For instance, I'm just going to emphasize on here, because it will basically use as you know that the Angular convert everything to the JavaScript. So here we are telling which compiler of JavaScript that you have to use. It could be the previous one, like ES2016, but we are going to, for this one, we are going to use a ES2022, and the same thing for the modules as well. And the strict policy will be true here. You can just it's basically checking the restrictions on different areas as well. So we'll further discuss about these things, or you can ask the same, or you can ask the question in comment as well, so I will explain you regarding that one. So now the other file is tsconfig app.json. This is basically, this file is used that if you want to make any changes at an application level, then you can do the changes at here. And another file is tsconfig.specs.json. This is basically mostly used for testing purposes, for test environment, but this is for developer environment, you can use it. And on the back end, remember, it also extends the tsconfig.json file, so it make its parent, and so all the properties of the parents will be available to this file as well. So but in this, you can define that which files should it includes, which files it should contains, and which files it should include. So this for the tsconfig specs.json, you can see it here that it also extended the ts configuration declaration.json, and but in include it define the spec.ts, and output it also defined that output should be like this. So this is for the testing purposes. And the next one, the another thing is an important one, the browser list rc. For in Angular 17, normally it not generate that file browser list rc, but I can you can generate it manually, this file. And in this file normally, for instance, if you you can define it there, that in your application, that what type of browsers that your application will support. So this type of configuration you can define in browser list rc. So by default it's supporting whatever the application is supporting, so it just release it in Angular 17. So but you can, if you want to manage it, then you can manually create this file as well. And the karma.config.js is also this is for testing purpose, for in order to run the test scripts, that you can use the test karma.config.js, but it also not generated automatically in an Angular 17, but you can define all sort of scripts here. You can see it here. It's a bit complicated stuff, so I'm not going into this at this level, because it will really you will start to confuse at this stage. But I would suggest that you should not look into this file at this stage. I'm just telling you that the main purpose of this file. So the polyfills.ts in Angular 17, no, you can see it here in angular.json. It defined in angular.json, define the zone.js file for the polyfills. Okay, which polyfills that we will use. So normally polyfills, main purpose of polyfills are that for instance, if your application, if your tester or your client come back to you and say that its application not working on some specific browser, so then you can just you can define some if you able to find some workaround for that one, then you can define it under the in the polyfills zone.js or any other files. So in that you can define you can define some workaround or some other solution for that particular browser, and then your application will start take it that okay, by using that script I can handle that particular issue as well. So but this is an advanced level thing, so I'm not going into the details at this level, because the purpose of this video is to explain you the files and structure of these things. So the next thing will be now we will go to the next section, that will be the interview questions. So now come back to the now let's move to the interview question. You know that the first thing that most probably any employer can ask you regarding that can you delete the package.json, and then what will be happen. Remember, if you delete the package.json file, you will not able to run the project at all. So so in that case it will not, your application will not work. So the second question could be like the difference between package.json and package-lock.json. So the code difference between we already discussed about that one, but I'm just telling it again here, that because this could be a question. Package.lock.json, that as you know that it contains the details information of the package.json. So so the main difference, as we figure out, that it contains the details of all the packages. Okay, so the next third question could be like that, what will happen if you delete the package.lock.json file? So will you able to run the project? Yes, you can able to run the project, because if even you delete this package.json file, you will run one command npm i. So with the npm i, it will just check the package.json again, and it will regenerate the file and start run the application. So I believe that guys you able to understand something in this video, and this video will be useful. So stay connected. I'm going to come up with this real examples of in Angular. So thank you for watching this video, and if you have any comment, you can just post your comment, and then I will get back to you as well. Thank you for watching my video.